Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Bytes.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Today we're finishing up our series on Harry Potter with Deathly Hallows. This book, it brings all the threads together, all those mysteries and prophecies from the earlier books. It really digs into what it means to face death, not just literally, but in all its forms.
Yeah, and facing death is woven through the whole book, right? It's not just the big battles.
Right.
It's the characters. They lose loved ones. They lose their childhoods. They face a world that's trying to crush their spirit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got Harry turning 17.
Big year.
Which means Voldemort is on the move, and the Order of the Phoenix is scrambling to get Harry away from Privet Drive before his protection breaks.
Yeah, that opening scene, it sets the tone perfectly. You've got
Yeah.
7 Harrys flying through the night pursued by Death Eaters. And even though they escape, there's this sense of dread because, things are about to get much, much worse.
Oh, yeah. And it's not just the external threats, right? There's this constant sense of paranoia of not knowing who to trust, even within the wizarding world.
Exactly. The Ministry of Magic is under Voldemort's control, spreading propaganda, trying to turn people against Harry and Dumbledore. It's a reminder that even in a magical world, information is a weapon, and truth can be twisted to serve dark purposes.
And that misinformation campaign doesn't work on Harry, does it? He's determined to carry on Dumbledore's mission, even if it means going against the Ministry and becoming a fugitive.
And that mission, of course, is to hunt down Voldemort's Horcruxes.
Ah, yes, the Horcruxes.
Now, you're probably wondering, what exactly are Horcruxes? They're objects that Voldemort used to split his soul into pieces, making himself nearly impossible to kill.
So dark.
It's dark magic, a violation of the natural order, and that's why destroying them is so crucial.
So Harry, Ron, and Hermione are basically on a scavenger hunt for soul fragments with very few clues and a whole lot of danger on their trail.
That's right.
It's a massive weight on their shoulders, and it's no surprise that their friendship gets strained under all that pressure.
Yeah, the pressure is immense. And it's particularly interesting how it affects Ron. He embodies that very human struggle with self-doubt, jealousy, and fear. His leaving and then coming back says a lot about the power of forgiveness and the importance of facing your own demons in order to support the people you love.
Yeah, and Ron's struggles are so relatable, especially when you think about the expectations put on teenagers in general. They're supposed to have everything figured out, be brave all the time, but Ron shows that it's okay to be scared to make mistakes, and that true friends will be there for you even when you mess up.
Absolutely. And I think what's fascinating is how J.K. Rowling uses this journey to symbolize the transition to adulthood. The trio is forced to grow up fast, make life or death decisions, and learn that sometimes even doing the right thing comes with immense personal cost.
And that cost is made clear pretty early on, right? We see Mad-Eye Moody, a seasoned Auror, get killed during the escape, and then later on it's Dobby.
Oh, Dobby's death is particularly impactful. He was a house elf, a creature often mistreated by wizards, but he chose to help Harry to fight for freedom and justice. His sacrifice underscores the book's message that even the most marginalized individuals can have a profound impact on the world.
And Dobby's death also reinforces the theme of sacrifice that runs throughout the book. We see characters, both big and small, making choices that put others' needs before their own, knowing that the fight against evil often demands personal cost.
There's that line that Harry says after Dobby's death.
Oh, yeah.
He should have been an elf, free to come and go as he liked, but he wasn't. It's a poignant reflection on the injustice Dobby faced and a reminder that true freedom comes with the responsibility to fight for those who are denied it.
Okay, so we've got this backdrop of war sacrifice and the desperate hunt for Horcruxes. But then there's this whole other layer of mystery added with the Deathly Hallows.
The Deathly Hallows are like a myth within a myth, a story within a story. You have this children's book, The Tales of Beedle the Bard, which contains the tale of 3 brothers who encounter death and receive these powerful magical objects: the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the Invisibility Cloak.
And these Hallows, while seemingly powerful, also raise ethical questions, right? Do they truly offer mastery over death, or are they just a dangerous illusion?
Yeah.
And if they are real, what price are you willing to pay for that kind of power?
You have Xenophilius Lovegood, Luna's father, who becomes obsessed with the Hallows, believing they hold the key to defeating Voldemort. But his blind faith ultimately leads him to betray Harry, highlighting the dangers of clinging to a belief without questioning its implications.
And the whole idea of the Hallows connects back to one of the book's central themes: the allure and the danger of power. Voldemort, of course, is the prime example of someone corrupted by his desire for power.
Oh, absolutely.
But even Dumbledore, as we learn later, was once tempted by the promise of the Hallows.
Dumbledore's past mistakes are important because they show that even the wisest and most powerful individuals can be seduced by the allure of control. It adds a layer of complexity to his character and raises questions about the nature of good and evil, the lines between heroism and hubris.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, what would you do if you were faced with the same choices?
Yeah.
Would you resist the temptation of the Hallows, or would you succumb to the promise of power, even if it meant compromising your values?
It's a question that resonates throughout the book.
Yeah.
Characters are constantly forced to make difficult decisions, weighing their loyalties, their beliefs, and the potential consequences of their actions. There are no easy answers, no clear-cut distinctions between right and wrong, and that's what makes the story so compelling.
Okay, so we've covered the early parts of the book, the setup of the main conflicts, the introduction of the Deathly Hallows, but now things are about to get really intense as the trio continues their Horcrux hunt, which leads them back to Hogwarts for a final confrontation.
The return to Hogwarts is more than just a physical return. It's symbolic of Harry's journey, his coming of age, and his ultimate confrontation with his destiny. Everything comes full circle, all the lessons he's learned, all the friendships he's forged, all the losses he's endured. It all culminates in this final battle. And Hogwarts, it becomes a battleground, a symbol of resistance against Voldemort's tyranny.
Oh, for sure.
You have students and teachers, young and old, fighting side by side, defending the place where they learned about magic, about friendship, about courage. It's a powerful image of unity in the face of overwhelming darkness.
The Battle of Hogwarts is one of the most epic and emotional scenes in the entire series. It's not just about spells and explosions. It's about the human cost of war, the sacrifices made, the losses endured.
You see characters you've grown to love fall in battle.
Yeah.
Fred Weasley, Remus Lupin, Nymphadora Tonks.
Oh, man.
Their deaths are gut-wrenching, but they also serve as reminders of what's at stake and what these characters are fighting to protect. It's about freedom, about justice, about the right to live in a world free from fear and oppression.
And during this chaos, Harry discovers another piece of the puzzle: Snape's true allegiance. Remember, Snape has always been this ambiguous figure, a bully to Harry, yet seemingly loyal to Dumbledore. But through memories that Snape leaves for Harry to see, we uncover the truth about his past, his love for Lily Potter, and the sacrifices he made to protect her son.
It's one of the most brilliant character reveals in literature. Suddenly, everything you thought you knew about Snape is turned upside down.
For real.
He was a flawed character, no doubt, but his actions were driven by a deep, enduring love for Lily, a love that ultimately led him to fight against Voldemort, even at the cost of his own reputation and happiness.
Wow. Yeah. It's hard not to feel sympathy for Snape after seeing those memories. He dedicated his life to protecting Harry, enduring years of suspicion and hatred, all because of a promise he made to a woman he loved. Talk about a tragic hero.
And it's not just about Snape's love for Lily. It's about the choices he made, the sacrifices he endured. He chose to fight against evil even though it meant living a life in the shadows, constantly being misunderstood and judged. It's a reminder that heroism isn't always about grand gestures or public recognition. It can also be found in the quiet, often painful acts of selflessness and dedication.
And this whole reveal ties into the idea of perception versus reality, right? We're so quick to judge people based on appearances, on their outward behavior. But Snape's story shows us that there's often more going on beneath the surface, that everyone has a story, and that understanding someone's motivations can completely change our perspective.
Absolutely. It encourages us to look beyond the surface, to question our assumptions, and to try to understand the complexities of human motivation.
So we've got this massive battle raging, Snape's truth revealed. And Harry is still on this quest to destroy the remaining Horcruxes. And it's during this quest that he learns another devastating truth. He himself is a Horcrux.
This revelation adds another layer of tragedy to Harry's story. He's been fighting Voldemort his entire life, only to discover that he's unwittingly carrying a piece of his enemy's soul within him. It's a burden no teenager should have to bear. But Harry, as always, faces this challenge with courage and a sense of duty.
Yeah, it's a testament to Harry's character that he doesn't shy away from this truth. He understands that to defeat Voldemort, he has to sacrifice himself to allow the Horcrux within him to be destroyed. It's a decision that shows his maturity, his selflessness, and his willingness to put the needs of others before his own.
And this act of self-sacrifice echoes Lily's sacrifice for Harry when he was a baby. It creates this powerful cyclical narrative showing that love is the strongest force even in the face of death, that it can protect, inspire, and ultimately conquer even the darkest of evils.
So Harry, knowing his fate, goes to meet Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest, prepared to die. It's one of the most heartbreaking scenes in the book, but it's also incredibly powerful. Harry, surrounded by the spirits of loved ones, faces his own mortality with a sense of peace and acceptance.
And there's this beautiful symbolism in that scene. Harry chooses to drop the resurrection stone, which he had been using to summon the spirits of his loved ones.
Oh, wow.
It's a symbolic act of letting go, of acknowledging that clinging to the past, trying to cheat death, can only bring pain.
It's a profound moment of growth for Harry. He's come to terms with his own mortality, with the inevitability of loss, and he's ready to face his destiny, even if it means leaving behind those he loves.
And then Voldemort casts the killing curse, seemingly ending Harry's life.
Oh, no.
But instead of dying, Harry finds himself in this strange in-between place, a kind of limbo where he encounters a weakened, childlike form of Voldemort and has a final conversation with Dumbledore's spirit.
It's a brilliant narrative device, this journey into a realm between life and death.
Right.
It allows Harry to confront the essence of Voldemort's evil, to understand the fear and vulnerability that fueled his quest for power.
And Dumbledore in this final meeting helps Harry to understand the events that have transpired, the choices he has made, and the true nature of his connection to Voldemort. He explains that Voldemort, in his attempt to kill Harry as a baby, inadvertently tethered Harry to life, creating this bond that neither of them fully understood.
It's a revelation that highlights the unforeseen consequences of actions, especially those driven by hatred and a lust for power. Voldemort, in his arrogance, never anticipated that his attempt to kill Harry would backfire, would ultimately lead to his own downfall.
And this conversation also emphasizes the importance of choice. Dumbledore tells Harry that he has a choice, to stay in this in-between place to find peace, or to return to the world of the living, knowing that the fight is far from over.
And what does he choose?
Harry, without hesitation, chooses to live, to return to the battle, to continue fighting for what he believes in. It's a decision that underscores his courage, his selflessness, and his unwavering commitment to protecting those he loves. So Harry awakens in the Forbidden Forest, feigning death to throw Voldemort off guard. He witnesses Voldemort's triumphalism as he parades Harry's supposedly lifeless body back to Hogwarts, a chilling display of arrogance and misplaced victory.
Man, the tension in that scene is incredible. You're rooting for Harry to reveal himself to strike back, but he has to wait for the right moment to let Voldemort's overconfidence become his undoing.
And that moment comes when Voldemort presents Harry's body to the defenders of Hogwarts, demanding their surrender.
Oh, wow.
It's a test of their loyalty, their belief in everything they've been fighting for.
And do they give in?
Even in the face of what seems like certain defeat, there's this spark of resistance. Neville Longbottom, a character who has grown so much throughout the series, steps forward, defying Voldemort, refusing to give up hope.
Oh, I love that.
It's a powerful moment, a reminder that even when all seems lost, courage and defiance can still prevail.
Right.
Neville's act of resistance inspires others, rekindling the flame of hope that Voldemort had tried to extinguish.
And
then just when it seems like Voldemort has won, Harry reveals himself.
Bam.
The crowd erupts. It's a moment of pure exhilaration, a testament to the enduring power of hope. The boy who was presumed dead is alive, and the battle for Hogwarts reignites with a renewed ferocity.
What a moment.
It's a turning point. Voldemort, in his arrogance, never anticipated Harry's survival, and now his carefully laid plans are crumbling.
Right.
He's facing not just Harry, but the collective will of those who refuse to be dominated, who refuse to surrender to his fear and tyranny.
That's awesome.
And this final battle is more than just a clash of wands and spells. It's a clash of ideologies, a battle between love and hate, between freedom and oppression, between the hope for a better world and the darkness that threatens to consume it.
And who wins?
As the battle rages, we see incredible acts of bravery on both sides. But ultimately, it's Harry's understanding of Voldemort, his willingness to sacrifice himself, and his connection to the Elder Wand that turns the tide.
Yeah, so tell me about the Elder Wand.
Right, remember the Elder Wand? One of the Deathly Hallows, Voldemort, obsessed with power, believed that possessing this wand would make him invincible.
Right.
But he didn't understand the wand's true nature, how its allegiance is earned through mastery, not through force or possession.
And that's where Harry comes in.
And Harry, during the final duel, reveals the truth. The true master of the Elder Wand is not Snape, as Voldemort believed, but Draco Malfoy.
Oh, interesting.
This revelation stuns Voldemort. He's so focused on power and control that he misses the subtle shifts in the wand's allegiance.
Right.
He never considered that Draco, by disarming Dumbledore earlier in the book, had inadvertently won the wand's loyalty.
Yeah, okay, I see that.
And because Harry disarmed Draco later on, the wand's allegiance ultimately passed to him. It's a twist of fate, a demonstration of the intricate workings of wand lore, and a reminder that true power isn't always about brute force, but about understanding connection and destiny.
Wow. I'm really starting to get a feel for the Elder Wand here.
And when Voldemort casts the killing curse at Harry, the Elder Wand refuses to harm its true master. The curse rebounds, striking Voldemort, instead ending his reign of terror once and for all.
So he's finally gone.
It's a moment of poetic justice. Voldemort, who had sought to conquer death, to dominate the world through fear and power, is ultimately defeated by his own obsession, by his failure to understand the true nature of power and the interconnectedness of all things.
This is pretty heavy.
And as Voldemort's body crumbles, a wave of relief washes over Hogwarts. The battle is won, the world is free from his tyranny, but the cost has been high.
Yeah.
Countless lives have been lost, sacrifices made, and scars left that will take time to heal.
But there's hope, right?
But even amidst the grief and loss, there's a sense of hope. The survivors gather in the Great Hall, tending to the wounded, mourning the dead, and celebrating their hard-won victory. It's a powerful image of resilience, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit.
It's nice to end on a moment like that. And does the book end there?
And the book ends with an epilogue set 19 years later. We see Harry, Ron, and Hermione, now adults, sending their own children off to Hogwarts, a new generation embarking on their magical journeys. It's a beautiful ending, a sense of closure and renewal.
Well, that.
There's this line in the epilogue that always gets me. The scar had not pained Harry for 19 years. All was well.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a simple sentence, but it carries so much weight.
Yeah.
It speaks to the healing power of time, the possibility of finding peace after trauma, and the enduring hope that future generations will be able to live in a world free from the darkness that plagued their parents' lives.
It's really a perfect ending.
It's a reminder that even after the most devastating battles, life goes on. There's still beauty to be found, connections to be made, and stories to be written.
Wow.
And sometimes the greatest victories aren't about defeating monsters, but about finding peace within ourselves and building a world where future generations can thrive.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. What a journey it's been.
Oh, it has. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
If you could possess one of the Deathly Hallows, which one would you choose and why?
Let us know your thoughts. Happy reading, everyone.